Hi guys, this is a follow-up video to my first video, which was easier, cheaper litter robot 3 bag idea, I think is what the title of it was. And a few people had questions, wanted a little bit more detail, so I thought I'd go into that. And I was going to talk about the pinch detector issue. When you have that rapid blinking yellow light on your panel, you can see it here. When that's blinking rapidly, it usually gives you an error for pinch detect. If you've got the Wi-Fi ones, or before I hooked up my Wi-Fi, I could just tell from the blinking light. And what that is this litter that when the robot's turning, it gets trapped right here and right here. But this stuff gets in between this little bitty crack, and I guess somehow triggers this sensor that tells the robot that there's an issue with maybe your cat being in there, or that something's stuck, and so that if there's anything there, your cat's in there, it won't continue to rotate. So to fix that issue that I found, because it would go off all the time, this stuff builds up all the time. Usually I have a really big pile. This time I had just a little bit, and I actually added some so you could see it a little better, so that I can show you what I was talking about. In these little cracks is where most of it gets. So I just take an old toothbrush, of course, that I don't use anymore, and I clean this off, get it nice and clean. Then I take an alcohol pad, and that's mainly just to get the dust off. Clean it really good so my new tape sticks. And the one I've had on these robots, both of them that I have, are probably about 6 months or so old, the last little cover that I put on there. And the other day, well, actually a week ago, this one started blinking that was having issues. So I came in and it was missing. It had come off, but it had been on there for a really long time. I hadn't had any errors, which was great. Occasionally you might get a little litter underneath there, but it's pretty rare. This really helps a lot, and you can just remove it and take that off. So once I've got that trimmed, I take a regular, or I guess a freezer Ziploc bag. I guess this is what, a pint size? Anyway, and I use this. I don't use both sides, just one side, but I make two while I'm at it, because I always have a replacement. And I cut out a piece that will fit perfectly right here. You can kind of see it's at an angle, and you want it to tuck underneath this front part here so that you can tape it in the back where the backs of my fingers are. And then you want it to just barely line up with this track here and go across. So if you get just the right angle, I think it's head turned this way, it'll be almost perfect shape for you. It's almost like a triangle, but more square shaped. But you can see how it lines up with this track here, kind of misses this little gap here and gives me just enough to go under. And that prevents that litter from sticking here and just goes over the top and runs in. This is kind of, you can see it, my cutout design, but you can pretty much come up with your own that fits. I just kind of freehanded it, and that's what I came up with. So then I will take my tape and put this, I can pull a little closer so you can see it possibly. Hang this over just about maybe 1/4 of an inch, just enough that I can tape, make sure it's all lined up where I want it. I want it to just go over this fuzzy part here so that I don't get litter trapped right there. And then I use a packing tape to secure it. I didn't mean to get that seam there. I wanted to keep it nice and straight, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And I just use the regular, like, Scott's brand. I guess, I don't know what that is, like maybe 1.5 inches or so. I've already got my pieces cut to make this quick. This one I'm going to put in the channel here. And make sure it's really flat and not like so tight that it's making an air pocket behind it. Secure it on that side. And then take a little bit shorter one. Put most of the tape on the bag because I don't have a lot of space in the very, very back of this. And then pop it around and tape it on the back side of this little flexible piece. And I actually had mine a little long, so I probably need to trim it just a little bit more so that it's smooth. Let me see, maybe I can do that. I'll wait for another video. I'll fix it after so it don't take time. But anyway, once that's smooth, it'll all spin just perfectly, and this protects all that crap from getting there. Occasionally, like I said, it can get back here, especially if you don't have it snug like I meant to do it. And you can just pull it off from the side and clean that out and then retape it or get a new piece, and it works great. And you really don't need a piece on the back at all. I mean, you could, but there's really not much space to tape it to. So as long as that's nice and flat, that's all you need, and it will keep all that stuff running down, and you'll get rid of that error. Occasionally you get a buildup on this side also, but that side, the other side doesn't matter as much because there's no sensor on that side. So that's how I do that to fix that rapid blinking light, yellow light, which is the, what is it, the pinch detector. Is what it is. And then my other thing I had shown on my previous video was my new bag idea. If I can get that out far enough. And a little litter on the previous one in there. But clean that out. So here was my little, get it in the right spot. I had just taken this out because I didn't want to show you all my nasty litter, cat litter. But you can secure a little odor eater, or was it odor, I forget what they were called. They all have different names. Odor genie, I think is what this one is. And I just put a little cut piece of rubber band through one of the little notches here, brought it back out, tied it, and basically attached it to wrapping it around this way. And I just wrapped around, did a little loop, and then attached it to another rubber band. So I can just untie this and replace it whenever I want. Once again, I had a little loop. It just wraps around this and goes through, and then I tie another rubber band so it's secure. So this stays out of the way of the litter, lets it work like it should be. And then I can change out, be sure you change out these filters. I think they recommend once every 2 months. You can get them cheap on Amazon or buy them from Litter Robot. But when this gets a lot of odor stored up into it, that will create a lot of your smell. So be sure that you change those out regularly as well. And I usually keep a little tag in mine that just tells me when I cleaned and, you know, scrubbed the whole litter box down so that I stay on top of it. And also when I change my filter. The rubber band here is what holds the bag that I was showing. And this is I heard from one of my people that responded to my video was that this is called a file band. It's one big long rubber band, and I just tied a knot here and here so I have a little gap or a little space in the middle, but it's one rubber band. And if you don't have one of these at home, you can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them online, of course, file bands, I think is what they're called. You can use a few, like 3. And the way you do that is, if you don't know, you loop one rubber band like this over and then through the other one. So like that. Then you have one more. Or just 2 doesn't work as well because you need a little space in the middle. Go through that, push that one through, and then you've got 3. And you hook one on this end, one on this end. Do that again. So you create your little robot piece, or your little piece there. You can shove your bag through this. They don't have to be super tight. A little snug is good because it holds a bag, but the rubber alone does it. And when you put your new bag on, which is your 8-gallon Sense brand is what I use, but a lot of people found 8 gallons in other brands. These tend to be on the thinner side, so they can tear easily, but when I empty mine, I usually toss them into an old Walmart grocery bag just to keep them from, you know, losing any in my trash can or anything, or developing a little split. But I like these because they don't create a lot of waste. They have a nice smell when I use them. And shake that out. Put my litter bag over the front and back. And then take this little edge and tuck it right through. Oops, you can find it on this one. Right through that little center spot, just like that, so it'll hold it. Bring in all the extra. That makes your perfect little square, like that. And all your litter gets trapped in this area. Then once it's full, you just pull this little tab out, lift all this out, and takes all your litter with you, and you've got a brand new clean one to start over with. Put a new one on, all the way over. Put it through. You don't want to take too much because you want to have that extra space to pat down so your litter has places to go. And when it starts to fill up on this side, like they always do, and I'll see it, it'll say that it's full. I'll come and check it. If it's only half full, I pull the drawer out, shake it a little bit. The pieces will slide over this way, and then this can start filling again. So you can just reset it and let it fill a little longer. And the whole thing slides in. You can't see it from the front, and it works great. And you put your little robot back inside. And I'll show you my other one. Video to go over this far. Let's see. There's my other one. And I'll try to show you once more about the cleaning the drawer. Open. This one's not very full, but you can see there it is and it's working. And I just pull this out, bring it around back like that, and toss it. And I put a new bag in. And that's it. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, just write me and I'll try to answer. And I did, like I said, I had another video. I'll try to link it with this one. I'm kind of new with doing the YouTube videos, but hopefully you'll be able to find it. That kind of gives you just a little bit more broad watching me put everything together. But this one was more in detail. Just I hope it helps. Thanks so much. Bye.